Hello Year 2 and welcome back to Friday's online home learning. We're going to do a maths lesson together now, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I can see. To start us off this morning, I'd like you to draw an array to represent 1 multiplied by 5 and 5 multiplied by 1. Remember that word commutative we learned last lesson, which means the number sentence can be written either way round. The same for your array. Your array can be drawn either way around. Remember, an array is a series of dots, objects or pictures arranged in rows or columns. So pause the video there and have a go at drawing that array to represent this number sentence. Okay, so I'm going to share my example with you. So I've just drawn very simply here 5 dots, so you can see 1 row of 5. So this represents 1 multiplied by 5, or 1 group of 5. Okay, so let's move on to our learning for today. Now, just having a little think about our learning last lesson, I want you to think about, what did we learn to do? Okay, what were we learning to do last lesson? We've just had a big clue there. So last lesson, we were learning about arrays. We were learning what an array is and how it can help us with our multiplication learning. Now today, we're going to be revisiting something that you would have learned in year 1 last year. You're going to be revisiting your doubles to 20. Now, just to remind yourself, I want you to think about, first of all, what is doubling? And then, what do we have to do when we double? Okay, so pause the video there and just have a quick think for me about that one. Okay, so doubling is 2 groups of a number. So when we double, we have to multiply the number by 2 or add the same number to itself. So for example, if I wanted to find double 4, I could either do 4 add 4 to find the answer as 8, or I could do 2 multiplied by 4, which also equals 8. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these representations. I want you to look at each of these pictures here, so A, B, C, and D, and I want you to decide which of these representations have been doubled and how do you know? Okay, I'll just give you some time to pause the video and have a think about which have been doubled and how do you know? Okay, so if we were to look at these pictures here, A, do you think A has been doubled? Yes, it has, because we can see 1 group of 3 here, and that's been added to itself, so 2 groups of 3 here. What about B? Do you think B has been doubled? No, it hasn't, because here we need to double 3, but then here we've got 3 and 5, which wouldn't be doubling 3. Let's have a look at the strawberry, C. Do you think C has been doubled? No, because we've got 1 strawberry here, so here we should have 1 strawberry and another strawberry. So just 2 strawberries rather than 3. And then finally here, got 1 group of 4. So for D, do you think this has been doubled? Yes, it has, because we have 2 groups of 4 here. Well done if you got those ones. So A and D have been doubled, but B and C have not. Okay, so let's have a go at finding double of some of these numbers then. So let's have a look at this numicon block first of all. Remember, you can count in 2s to find the total of this numicon block. So I want you to find double of this number. And then once you've done that one, I want you to find double of this number. So remember to count in 2s and an extra 1 to count how many that is. I'd like you to write a sentence saying double blank is blank, for both of these numicon blocks. Now, if you'd like to, you can write an addition number sentence to help you to find the total. Or if you'd like to, you can draw the numicon block twice to find the answer to double of that number. Okay. Hopefully you've had a chance to find double of each of these numbers now. So this one, first of all, this one is a numicon block for 8. So double 8 is 16. Now for this one, this is the numicon block for 7. So double 7 is 14. Well done if you got those ones correct. Okay, so finally, to end our learning together, I'd like you to try and complete this table. So we've got 4 columns here. We've got a build column, a represent column, an add column, and a double column. For the build column, I want you to use objects in your home to build what you're finding double of. So for example, here we've used cubes. So 1 cube, I want to find double 1. So I've got 1 cube and then another cube. So that would help me to find double 1. Here, I'm finding double 2. So I've got 2 cubes and then another 2 cubes, because I've got 2 groups of 2 now. Okay, so for the next one, if I'm finding double 3, I might get 3 strawberries and 3 strawberries. It doesn't have to be cubes, it can be any objects in your home that you want to use. Once you've built it with objects, I want you to draw a tens frame. Okay, so just 10 boxes like this in a rectangle. And I want you to draw your counters. So as you can see here, we've got 1 counter in red and 1 counter in blue. 2 counters in red, 2 counters in blue. Now it doesn't have to be red and blue, you can choose your own colours, but we want the original number first and then the number we're adding in a different colour. Once you've drawn your 10 frame, you need to write your addition number sentence and the answer, and then the sentence. So double 3 is blank. Okay, so you're going to complete that for up to double 4. And then as a challenge X is what comes next in the table. How do you know? So once you've noticed the pattern, you might want to draw another row in your table. So what comes next? So again, build, represent, add, and then double. Okay. So looking at your task for today then, I want you to find double of each of these numbers. So there's 6 numbers here. So we're going to start off by finding double 3, double 6, 7, 9, 2, and 8. And the way I want you to lay this out is I want you to write the addition number sentence and then the double sentence. Now I've done a number that's not on the list, so I've chosen to do double 1. So I've written 1 add 1 equals 2. Double 1 is 2. Okay, so that's what I want you to do for each of these 6 numbers there. Once you've completed that, I want you to have a go at the challenge X, which I will read to you now. Louise doubles her donuts. The picture shows what she had after she doubled her donuts. So the picture shows how many she had after she doubled them. That's a really important part of the question you need to remember. So we've got some different characters here. Whitney says, Louise started with 4 and ended with 8 donuts. Eva says, Louise started with 8 and ended with 16 donuts. And Mo says, Louise started with 2 and ended with 4 donuts. Who do you agree with? So you either agree with Whitney, Eva, or Mo. And I want you to explain why. So I'd like you to write a sentence down of who you agree with and why you agree with them. Now, make sure you don't look at the answer until you have answered it. So I'm going to share the answer with you now. So the answer is Whitney is correct because double 4 is 8 and she now has 8 donuts. Okay, because we've been told that she had 8 after she doubled her donuts. So we know double 4 is 8. Okay. Now to end with our fluency question, something a little different for us today. 15 is my answer. What is my question? Now this one, there is not just one answer. There is many different possibilities I'm sure you will be able to think of. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one with you to try and think of as many different possibilities as you can. Now it doesn't have to be a multiplication sentence. Could be an addition sentence, could be a subtraction number sentence, or it could be multiplication or even division if you wanted to challenge yourself. So your challenge is to see how many different possibilities you can find. So if I was to give an example, I would say 20 subtract 5 equals 15. So 15 is my answer. Okay, so I've used my number bonds to 20 to help me to find my answer. Let's see how many different number sentences you can come up with. Okay, thank you for joining me for our maths learning today. I will see you later on for our science learning. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye for now.